So before I start the video, let me just preface this by saying I will never say another word in a Call of Duty lobby ever again. Now, why is that? Well, before I elaborate, let me just say that I am Remo Yes Man. And if you don't know what we do here, I like to talk shit about general gaming news while playing a little bit of Warframe. And today I would like to talk about Call of Duty because Call of Duty is literally stealing your voice using AI voice recognition software. And let me just say, this is a huge L for Activision. I mean, Activision's always trying to innovate, but all these new features end up being complete bullshit, and ultimately, Activision is just in a race to the bottom. But there is hope because pretty soon, Activision will have some competition. So if you've been disillusioned with all the hackers and the lagging and the SBM bullshit, eventually, we will have some competition for Call of Duty. But for now, let's just get into it. So if you haven't heard, Activision has rolled out this in-game AI voice moderation software to combat hate speech in Call of Duty. Now this is completely goofy on Activision's part because hate speech has always been part of the Call of Duty experience whether you like it or not. But most of all, it's a game and it's a fucking competitive game at that. There's always going to be some level of trash talk and there's always going to be some noobs getting their ass whooped that will eventually get called out for that shit. What Activision is trying to do is they're trying to create a safe space for every single player that plays Call of Duty. But ultimately, I don't think this is going to drive player engagement, and I don't think this is going to keep players playing longer. If anything, this is going to make less people want to play the game. So I want to quote the Call of Duty blog that goes on to state that global rollout of Call of Duty's in-game voice chat moderation begins today, excluding the Asia Pacific region. Our moderation will also expand to include Spanish and Portuguese in addition to the English language. The Call of Duty voice moderation software will be active in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and Call of Duty Warzone. Call of Duty is taking the next leap forward in its commitment to combat toxic and disruptive behavior with its in-game voice chat moderation beginning with the launch of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 this November 10th. Activision will team with Modulate to deliver global real-time voice chat moderation at a scale starting with this fall's upcoming Call of Duty blockbuster. Call of Duty's new voice chat moderation system utilizes ToxMod, the AI-powered voice chat moderation technology from Modulate to identify in real time and enforce against toxic speech, including hate speech, discriminatory language, harassment, and more. This new development will bolster the ongoing moderation system led by Call of Duty's anti-toxicity team, which includes text-based filtering across 14 languages for in-game text, chat, and usernames, as well as a robust in-game player reporting system. So there it is. Activision is rolling out this new voice moderation AI-powered garbage software in order to protect little Johnny and Skippy Fuckface and all the little squeakers that shouldn't even be playing the game because the game is rated M for mature. It's like Activision forgets that their game is rated M for mature, so only people 17 and up should be playing this shit to begin with. But they know there's a fuck ton of little kids that are playing this shit. That's why they're rolling out this AI-powered garbage to try to protect all the little squeakers that are in the lobbies stinking up the fucking place. That's why you see them add a bunch of fucking clown suit, Nicki Minaj skin, Snoop Dogg bullshit to these Call of Duty games because they know these little kids will buy the shit. And that's already bad enough that they're fucking up the game by doing that shit. But to add this AI voice moderation shit to your rated M for mature game just seems a little ridiculous if you ask me. Now listen, I don't know if you've ever played any of the Call of Duty campaigns, but in the Call of Duty campaigns, oftentimes your character's cussing like a fucking sailor, furthermore, oftentimes in the Call of Duty campaign, you're like some fucking unstoppable one-man army mowing down soldier after soldier after soldier. And by the time the campaign is over, you've just took thousands of lives and possibly even nuked a country in the Middle Eastern region and just left a bunch of destruction in your wake. But that shit's okay. The line is absolutely drawn at the point where you're in a public lobby and you say fuck you to another player. In fact, Activision went on to state that they've seen a disturbing trend that of only 1 in 5 players reporting hate speech in the game, and that's because not only is hate speech part of the fucking experience, but only 1 in 5 people care about reporting that shit, and half the time they only report that shit because they got their ass whooped to begin with. There is no way this is going to keep people playing Call of Duty longer. Out of all the features to roll out, you roll out this AI-powered garbage. And to be honest with you, I stopped playing Call of Duty because of all the cheaters and the lag and the SBM garbage. But the real problem with Call of Duty is the SBMM, because if you have over a 1.0 KD, every match you get thrown in will be an absolute sweat fest, and that's fine a lot of the time, but the other half of the time, I'm just trying to chill. The other half of the time, I just got home from a long ass stressful day at work, and so you turn on the game to chill out and play some fucking Call of Duty, but instead of having a nice fun experience, this game ends up being extremely stressful because you end up in a match where you got 5 dudes with no thumbs on your team and you're going up against the fucking Call of Duty All-Stars. That's the real problem with Call of Duty. Now, there's an even bigger reason Call of Duty's doing this garbage, and you may not want to hear it, but in recent years, the world has become more bitchified. Not in the sense that people on the far right try to portray it, but in the sense that everybody has a voice now. So naturally, you're gonna get a lot of these little punk ass bitches speaking up for what they want to see, for the features they want to see rolled out in these games. And even though these assholes are just the vocal minority, as a result, these companies feel like they need to give these punk ass motherfuckers a safe space, because these motherfuckers feel like they need a safe space everywhere they go and within every medium they participate in. So these companies are like, we hear you. And what they do is they implement this safe space inclusive garbage in their video games. And I don't want to say woke because that term's been bastardized so much in political media, but they do this safe space inclusive garbage because at the end of the day, they think it's going to be better for their bottom line. And to be fair to them, sometimes it is better for their bottom line, but other times it's fucking not. And ultimately, it just makes for a shitty experience for some people, and for other people like me, it just makes for a really weird, uncomfortable experience, because AI voice recognition software isn't going to alter your core experience, especially if you don't usually talk to people until the time comes to talk some shit. Then you unmute your mic and you lay on them. But it's just really weird. Obviously, all these companies are collecting your metadata, and that shit within itself just is really weird to me, and it makes me paranoid. It really makes my skin crawl. So the last thing I want my fucking video game to be doing is actually collecting my voice, collecting my literal voice. That shit is just next fucking level to me. But maybe that's just me, Maybe that's just me being weird, and maybe I'm in the minority here. Maybe that's just me being uncomfortable and I'm being unreasonable about that. Anyway, let me know how you guys feel about that in the comment section. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Likes, comments, subscribes are all really appreciated. Anyway, guys, just be safe out there and just have a beautiful day. That's the best thing you can do for me. Peace.